What's good, y'all? Welcome to 2025. My name is Rorvis Paradox, aka Docs Brando, and I'd like to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Rorvis Reviews. Very excited to start the year off with a review of two great vampire films one that I truly do love, and one of my very favorite vampire movies ever, and the other a sneak end at the tail end of 2024 that I highly enjoy and just can't wait to talk about. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel, making sure you're hitting that notification bell, make sure you telling people about the channel, spreading the content, making sure we get more Doxaholics involved so we can grow the channel where I can make better content. With all that being said, let's get into it! Now, the first film we're going to be talking about today is 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. This film is just exceptional, in my opinion. It's my favorite vampire movie ever. I believe it's the quintessential vampire movie, one of the best stories that deals with Dracula, and it's just so fucking fantastic. I think how much time, effort, passion, blood, sweat, and tears Francis put into the film shows how much dedication. Like, he was literally firing people for not agreeing with certain decisions and what he wanted to do. Like, there were some people that wanted to do more special effects. He was like, no, we're going practical, we're shooting this a particular way. He fired some people, hired his son to make sure everything was the way he wanted to do, and I just love the decision he made within the film. I love this film because it's such a love story. It's such a beautiful tale of Dracula, whose backstory begins with him being Vlad the Impaler, a knight that fights for the Lord, whatnot, and some shit happens and he loses his love. He loses his love because of a situation. That's how I'm gonna put it. I want y'all to check this film out, of course, so I don't want to spoil. But anyway, I just love this film and how dynamic it is. I love everything about it. So, number one, before I get into our highlights, I just want to talk about Dracula in this film. This is one of the first films where it is not, some slick back hair, no facial hair, cloak. Like, this Dracula, there's no Dracula that looks like him. And I just love how I love the design of not just his main form, where he's more of a handsome younger man, his old, decrepit, disgusting looking form as well is great. But when he is in his younger form, he's very suave. He's the just like what most people have this interpret as a vampire, being very seductive and whatnot. Proud because he was a warrior and the lineage he comes from. I love this particular Dracula's power set. So many different abilities that were so greatly done with the practical effects as well. Just very excellent interpretation of Dracula. With all that, I want to get into the highlights. I think the use of the backstory of Vlad the Impaler is really interesting. I love the action sequences during the intro of the film of him just brutalizing people and impaling like over 100 men. Like, it's insane to watch how dedicated he was to his craft. I love the set design of this film. I feel like there's a lot of great shots like within this film where it's just like spectacular, truly breathtaking scenes, and just truly like the use of space and the camera shots are excellent within the film. The cinematography is great. There's a lot of waning shots that they came in with that I'm so interested to know how they did it. It's just some of the great movie magic. Some of the editing choices are a little bit questionable in some sense, but it doesn't take away, in my opinion. Like, I love some of the shots of just like Dracula's eyes over the sunset type shit, and it's just, I don't know, there's just a particular there's just some things I just love about it. I don't know what it is. It's just excellent. I love the writing of this film. The dialogue between characters, especially with Gary Oldman's Count Dracula and Winona Ryder's Mina, is just like the chemistry between the two with through the dialogue is excellent. There's a lot of it's just like the exposition dumps don't feel like exposition does. It feels like everything that we need to know is well put and digestible. It doesn't feel like they're just dropping stuff on us. Like, we're learning as we go about each of these characters, and I just appreciate that. A lot of it's a mix of show don't tell, and but there is some tell in there as well. I just think that was an excellent decision by Francis. I think the score by Wojciech Keeler, excellent, very magnificent, beautiful, grand. Everything about the score matches the intensity of the film. You know, if you haven't heard the score of this film, like, I don't know, it's just, they don't make scores like this anymore. It's very particular. Some of my favorite themes in film as well. The costume design of this film is excellent as well. A lot of beautiful executed timepieces within each of these characters, and they all got little intricacies, like certain flares to show where each character's from and how they are. I think the creature design of Dracula in his many different forms is exceptional. Great movie magic. I love practical effects. It's just excellent to see how monstrous Dracula can be. You know, instead of just being the guy in the cloak, it's just this beast that he can become. And that's a lot of the things that Francis was taking from the source material as well, because of the different shapes and forms he can take. I think that was well executed. Like I was saying, with the different power sets, I love everything about this Dracula. Practical effects, like there's some scenes that's just like, man, how did they do it? How did they do it? It's just some really great shots and scenes within this film. With all that, now I want to get into the cast. Gary Oldman as Count Dracula, superb, excellent. What a performance! And Gary Oldman is just a great actor in general, but like this is probably one of my favorite performances for him, in my opinion. Winona Ryder is Mina, and Elizabeth. This is not, I think this is one of her better performances. There's probably some better ones, probably more iconic as well, especially like within Beetlejuice. But this one I really do love. I love the chemistry she had with Gary Oldman, as well as Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Hawker. Speaking of which, Keanu Reeves was excellent as well. Very young Keanu Reeves, not the person that we'll get later, like with the Matrix and whatnot. A few years shy of that, but still excellent performer within this. Anthony Hopkins as Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Hopkins had fun in here. Anthony Hopkins had a lot of fun in here, but he definitely brought a je ne sais quoi to this film. There's just something about his performance that just like, he seems crazy, but he's the only one that truly understands the threat that these people are facing. Sadie Frost as Lucy Westenra. I think she just gives off a great bubbly, carefree, seductive performance within this film that really is very intricate to Lucy's character within all the different adaptations of Dracula. You know, she's definitely the one that's more, how can I say this, more of a, I'm not saying, she's, you know, she's very open about her sexuality. That's how I'll put it. Very a free woman in that sense, and that makes her a very easy target for Dracula, no matter what adaptation it is. And I think that, you know, she played that performance very well. The rest of the cast is excellent as well, but those are very minor compared to these characters in particular. But again, like, overall, this is a very excellent film in my opinion. Again, quintessential vampire film. I'm giving this film 5 stars. I just watched it again recently. Still holds the par. And you know, this is a film that joined the ranks during like the 2020s. Like, this has become one of my favorite films within these past 4 or 5 years. So definitely a film that I highly recommend. 5 stars from Docs for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, the last film we're going to be talking about is 2024's Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers. This film was a spectacle. This film was a great film to experience in theaters, the last film of 2024. To get into the background of the film, if you don't know about it, this is a remake of the silent German expressionist film from 1922. The copyright, this film is an adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the actual book. And with this film, it tried to avoid copyright infringement by renaming and changing things of almost every character within the book, including Dracula. Count Orlok is adaptation of Dracula, but if you've seen the original look of Orlok, completely different. He's not handsome at all. Pointy ears, bald, bushy eyebrows, brush, like everything about him, and then pointy teeth like a rat. Like nothing about him looks like Dracula, but a lot of his caricature was from Dracula, and they tried to like truly separate themselves. But the widow of Bram Stoker caught wind of this, never seen the film, according to some cases, and immediately sued. And the German judges leaned towards her favor, so they were supposed to destroy every single copy of the original film of Nosferatu. Somehow, some way, some survived, made their way to the States and other countries. Then the copyrights went down, expired, and from there they was able to just like literally just everybody is able to watch it, do whatever they want with that material. It's its own entity now, and I really like that. It's really a miracle for a film to go through such hurdles to still be around, and it's literally free on YouTube and other sources. So if you want to watch the original silent film, you can. I don't know about y'all, silent films are kind of hard to watch, but definitely check it out if you want to see where Robert was coming from for this film. Now, what I thought Robert did an excellent job with this film is making his Count Orlok very vile, very disturbing, very brooding. The whole film of Nosferatu has a sense of dread and despair that I think is such a 180 compared to what Francis did with Dracula. I think it's just a beautiful gothic film that does a lot of the things well with all those qualities that just makes things eerie, disturbing, and frightening in some areas, dealing with the different types of trauma that the main character, Ellen Hunter, played by Lily Rose Depp, is going through. I think this film is just really great at making things feel very creepy and uneased with each of these characters and what they're going through. To go into the highlights right now, I love the cinematography of this film. This is just a well shot film. Almost every frame could be its own little painting, its own little poster, just clip art. Everything about this film is just executed to the T. The setting of the film as well, just like the waning landscapes, the different shots of the wilderness, the very vastness of the European terrain, the different busyness of the city, and the griminess of this 1800s Germany. I think the costume design is well done as well. I think just like with Dracula, great with the time period pieces. Robert is definitely one of those people that does extensive research into the things he does with his particular films. And the things he did with Nosferatu are so superb and excellent. I love a lot of when it comes into the I hate to use the term, but this is what they say, the gypsy scene within this film. It felt very close to the culture, and it felt very authentic. The accents, the use, everything about this film that felt very culturally impactful and important. It did not feel like it was a knockoff. It didn't feel like anyone should have been felt disrespected, whatnot. I felt like it was a very well thought out and well done film in that sense. I think the practical effects is excellent as well. I was just doing some research, watching the video, and apparently Robert used a lot of real rats in this film as well. So the actors and actresses were saying it was very funky on set, and I think things like that are little touches to push the movie forward in that sense. I think the design of Orlok is a highlight as well. It was something that I wasn't prepared for. I think it's a modified look. It's not what you were expected, but like when you truly get to see him in all his glory, glory, very very strange word to say for Count Orlok, but in all his glory, it's just like disgusting, decrepit, horrific. Looked like he smelled like ass and cigarettes and hot dog water and corpses. It's just a raggedy looking dude. and it's just everything about this is superb. I love the scenes where they utilize his shadow, because just like in the original Nosferatu film, a lot of the magic he utilizes is within like him just casting a huge shadow over whoever he's trying to, either corrupt, uh hypnotize, whatever, any sort of fashion that usually kind of is connected, that power that Dracula has. That's what he uses with his shadow, and it's very interesting in that sense. To get into, oh, lastly, the score. I feel like the score, just like with Dracula, the score does a good job with encapsulating the tone and the sense of the film, and it pairs very well with each scene. Now I'm going to get into the cast. Bill Skarsgård is Count Orlok. Uh, this is again based off of Dracula, and I think Bill is just one of those actors who is just perfect for playing the monster in film. And once he's under that makeup, once he has everything he needs to become that creature, it's off and running. You can't stop him. He literally becomes it, and you can only tell it's him in this role once you really look into the eyes. That's really the tell. His whole family has this people say they have piercing eyes, and that's definitely the case with Bill. His whole family has the same look, and it's just like, yeah, that's a Skarsgård. Sometimes you may not know which one it is, but for Bill, that's for sure Bill. And he was able to just become this decrepit, disgusting, horrible creature that's not only bloodlusted, but just lustful in that sense. But that's something that you can tell by the different tones of this film as well once you watch it for yourself. Lily Rose Depp as Ellen Hunter. Lord have mercy. Definitely supposed to be the version of Mina, but her as Ellen takes it, off the top. This is a lot of great performances. A great like scenes come from her, and it's just excellent performance from her. It was highly enjoyable. There's just some stuff where it's just like she's truly losing her mind within the role, and it was just exceptional to watch. We have Aaron Taylor Johnson as Frederick Harding. Man, there's some scenes where he's just truly in disarray and just distraught, and there's a lot of great scenes with Aaron as well. William Dafoe is Professor Albin Eberhard von Franz. This movie's version of Abraham Van Helsing. William Dafoe is just a great actor in general, and not only did he bring his all to the film, I could tell he definitely had some fun with certain portions and certain dialogue. He's just one of those actors that just like he brings his all to it. It's not just with the vocal performance, it's with the emotion he brings, it's with the facial expressions. Everything is 110% from William Dafoe, so I absolutely appreciate that. Emma Corrin as Anna Harding did an excellent job. I love the chemistry she was having between Lily Rose's Ellen. I love the Ralph Ernst's Dr. Wilhelm Silver, who's just like trying to grasp the situation of the possible supernatural being at hand. Simon McBurney as Her Knock, which is this Nosferatu's version of Renfield. This dude is literally a lunatic out of his mind, obsessed disciple of Count Orlok, who just like does just again a standout performance in that sense. And lastly, Nicholas Hoult as Thomas Hunter, who is this version of Jonathan Harker. I think him going through the disarray and the stress of not only being in this situation, but trying to just be a great man and husband to his wife, trying to do better, and domino effect, and just everything goes south, and it's just horrible that he has to go through this. But I think Nicholas Holt's performance is exceptional. I think he brought a lot of sadness to this role, a lot of fear, anxiety, nervousness that was able to be expressed throughout this film, and I think it was just a great job from him. Overall, I believe I gave this film 4 stars. I think this is a very great film, but I think for a vampire film, I really wanted more Count Orlok. I wanted to see more of him, and I get what the film was going for. I get what Robert was trying to do with really trying to keep him hidden and make every time he was on screen impactful, and trying to keep him hidden just for like the big reveal to happen. I get that. I truly do. But there's just more I wanted from him. But the vampire scenes we do get with Count Orlok, my lord, like him feeding on people is truly horrific. And I love the sound design of him just gulping blood, like truly gulping, like straight from here down to the stomach. I don't know how they got that particular sound. Like, I don't know who, the poor soul who had to truly gulp to get that loudness, but man, it's just disgusting to hear. And it's just like Count Orlok is such the polar opposite of Dracula. There's no suaveness, there's no elegance to it. It's just this beast, this demon who's just doing whatever he wants and causing such chaos. Like with Dracula, he's feeding on people and people are dying, but like it's more in the sense that like the numbers and the things he's doing is more on the low. Like you really have to be paying attention and be in the area for know what's going on. With for Count Orlok, just his presence on the city, just in Germany, is ruining everything. And you'll see how that what I mean by that if you watch the film. But again, a very great, well done film that I want to watch again. And maybe the next watch I'll give it 4.5, and I'll have a more stronger I'll be more strongly inclined to give it that 4.5 stars off of more viewings. But right now, I think just 4 stars is great. It's not, I think that there was a lot of meat left on the bone that wasn't touched. And I think Robert did an excellent job with what he did, but like I felt like there's just more. And just being a person that loves I love vampires as a horror monster. They're not my favorite, but like there's something that is a staple in my household when it comes to horror. I just wanted more from them. But overall, an exceptional film, 4 stars. Now, it's very easy to understand why I chose these 2 films to review. These 2 films, they're what they are always going to be interconnected based off of the source material. And I think it's very interesting to see what 2 different directors with so much time between them in age and experience can take an interpretation of said source materials and see what they can do. And I think both of them did an excellent job with these vampire films. And I think I'm just excited to see what's the next person going to do. And you know, it's been a while since we had such a great vampire film of this caliber, in my opinion, and I think it did a great job in that. And you know, I just can't wait to see who's going to be the next one. Is it going to be the next person going to do something with Nosferatu? Is the next person going to do something with Dracula? You know, there's so many different things that are up in the air for grabs to see what the next great director is going to do. But I highly enjoyed these films, highly recommend them. Want y'all to check them out. With all that being said, how did you feel about these films? Are these films as great as I say? You know, is Nosferatu the best vampire film? Is it the best Dracula interpretation? Or are you more of a fan of Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis like myself, you know? Or what's your favorite vampire film? Please let me know in the comments below, before we can have a dialogue, because I'm highly interested to know what your favorite films are in that vampire genre. This has been Rorvis Reviews. I am Rorvis Paradox, aka Docs Brando, and I'll see y'all again next week. Peace.